Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Stay at Home Grow series presented by The Evolution Magazine, hosted here by Hoosier Sophisticate in the Mycelial Media Studios. This week we are joined by Beau Bradley of GrowActive Solutions. He's going to teach us a little bit about hydroponics 102, pH balances, newts, and even a little bit of maintenance. Stick around. We've got a giveaway at the end of the show. It's a little house and garden.
You gonna give
Grow
it
at
away?
home kit.
You gonna give it away?
Oh, we're going to give it away real good.
Oh, give it away.
I want to remind you that Mycelial Media is here to create the content for your brand to share all over the world.
Content like this, where we talk.
Unbelievable commercials with these soft NPR undertones.
Oh, we can
Bringing
do it
your
all.
brand everywhere that we can. Stay tuned. The show's about to begin. We will be here to teach you all about hydroponics and how to grow the best medicine at home. A reminder, this is brought to you by The Evolution Magazine. Check out evolution-mag.com. Printed magazines available all across Missouri. They're free, guys. They got great information.
The best.
The best.
Hey,
So
don't
stick
forget
around.
about all the rest of them, like Nate on Cannabis. And
Oh, check out our affiliate networks. Nate on Cannabis.
Casey Weed Blog.
Casey Weed Blog is doing some of the neatest stuff out there I've ever
Weird and
Weird
cool.
guy.
Weird and cool.
Missouri Cannabis Network.
Yeah. Who is somebody else? Who? He's not. All right. Yeah. We love everybody.
Stick around, guys. There's what you're going to win right there. House and Garden little starter kit, premium nutrients and additives. We'll be coming up shortly with Beau Bradley of Active Solutions. GrowActive Solutions.
It's the Hoosier Sophisticate Show. Question all the things that you know. Steve likes the weed. Steve likes the weed. Tell you about DMT. The DMT. Hoosier Sophisticate Show. The Hoosier Sophisticate Show. Hoosiers with the dream. Sophisticated blasphemy. It's the Hoosier Sophisticate Show. Question all the things that you know. So let's set our minds free for the singularity. It's the Hoosier Sophisticate Show. The Hoosier Sophisticate Show.
Well, hello again, ladies and gentlemen, and it's, what is it, Thursday?
It's a Thursday, bud.
You know what that means?
Yeah, I do.
Stay-at-home grow series with our guys, Evolution Magazine. If you don't get it delivered to you, you can find it everywhere. Evolution Mags, they have so many good articles from people I know and love that are really telling the stories of patients and what's going on at the ground level of cannabis legalization in Missouri, because we are on a new frontier. They even Evolution Mag got us into a place where it looks like they are going to grow copious amounts of cannabis. It is happening, Missouri. If you haven't checked out their Facebook page, they have pictures up right now of some of the most exciting stuff that you're going to be seeing here. I'm editing. Stuff that you're going to... Missouri is coming alive in more ways than one because the plants are alive and growing, and we can't do stuff like that without my guy here, Beau knows Hydro.
Beau knows Hydro.
And Beau's going to come, Beau Bradley.
Yes.
Beau Bradley's going to come and learn you guys about Hydro 102. And if you didn't check out the last Grow series, check out that video because you inspired me to grow, dude.
No doubt.
Thank you.
No doubt, dude.
Craig and I talked about it afterwards. We have never, as big of heads, and we're in the industry. We're never like, hey man, you want to grow some? We never said that to each other. I'm just like, we never did. We're like, no, let's get it from people who are better than us. And you made it so simple. You made it something that I thought was so difficult, which the science is very unique and interesting, but it's as old as time. It's almost in our blood, in our bones to know how to do this. And talking to some people like our guy, Chris Smith, who is one of the most beautiful people on earth.
He is pretty beautiful.
You see him at all the events behind the camera. I'd pay good money to get him in front of the camera. Let's just say it that way.
Yeah,
but he's awesome. I know that cannabis means so much to people and the people in the community and having these growers and stuff. It's just Missouri has built something awesome. I just want to thank everyone for tuning in and joining us right now. Beau, what are you going to teach us about Hydro?
So today we're going to cover nutrients, basically just what they are and kind of what they do. We'll also talk about pH and system maintenance, and you can kind of see how all of those topics are going to kind of go hand in hand with each other.
Cool. What do we got? Show them the giveaway thing. Go ahead and flash it in their face. Let them know. Because those are nutrients, right?
Yes. Hydroponic nutrients from House and Garden. This is a complete starter set that will be given away. Basically has everything in here that you need to get going. And
is that a similar thing to what we gave away?
I think it's the same deal.
The exact same thing we gave away last
because
time.
I remember the only reason I knew these were nutrients, I didn't know what he brought in. I thought he brought in craft beer last time. I was like, dude's got some craft beer. Yeah, fireworks. There you go. But now I know because you did. You made it simple last time. You made guys like us feel like we could grow.
Yes.
And you can. We all can. So it's not that hard. I always say that it's definitely not rocket science. It's plant science.
Yeah.
So everybody can do it. And I always say too, everybody's worked with some type of plant, right? Somebody, at some point in your life, whether in school you did the lima bean or you got out in the garden with mom or grandma and you were weeding or planting. Yeah. We've all done stuff in the garden. We all have a basic instinct to grow stuff. And so it's really just getting to it and doing it because it is a lot easier than what a lot of people make it out to be.
We've all put the potato with the toothpicks in the glass of water.
Absolutely.
And there's a connection that comes. I think it was Craig, you were listening to a podcast talking about almost the ability to, not really play God, but at least you're bringing something about as maybe like a messenger of the God, whatever you want to describe God or call God, but you are bringing life about out of kind of nothing and how therapeutic it can be.
You're nurturing life.
You're nurturing life.
You're giving
man.
and then nurturing life, which is really cool. And while you guys were talking about the...
It's easier than kids. Sorry, just want to point that out.
No, that's encouraging.
Yeah, thank God.
Because
I don't need more
kids.
kids.
Doesn't really grow, who's never considered himself a green thumb. It is kind of an intimidating deal. It's like
for sure,
especially someone who knows that plants are sentient and have and
I better
I'm
grow these
responsible
right.
for their lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But since we are talking about the awesome starter kit, I want to shout out last week's prize winner,
Sure.
Andrea Thompson. She won a Blue Planet Nutrients Blue Max line. It's an in-store pickup only. It had Blue Max A-B, Vita Blue, Liquid Seaweed, Early Bloomer, Liquid Blue, and Root Magic Mycorrhizal, and a free certificate. So that was pretty awesome, man. Pretty nice little
That's
giveaway.
a nice little pack.
That's a nice
to be
little
winning.
pickup. So all you got to do to have a chance to win this, I think, is stay tuned to the end of this thing. Is there any
What else we gotta do?
stipulations there? Do they got to do anything? They got to send
how do you
a
win
video
this
of
thing?
themselves doing a dance or anything like that?
Just
Like and share this video. Tag a friend in this video.
Yeah.
You'll be entered into the contest. That's a sweet little deal.
Yeah.
And
Wouldn't
tag
be a bad little
GrowActive so we can find you and know who to give this stuff away to.
Boom.
Tag
Follow
GrowActive.
GrowActive.
Yeah.
Follow
Yeah.
GrowActive Solutions. Tag them.
Do it.
What are you doing? Hey, Beau, tell us a little bit about GrowActive's Immaculate Seed Cultivation Classic, brother.
Okay. So we just, this past weekend, we did the second grow competition here in the state of Missouri. So back in January, we did the first one, which was the Mo Home Grow Bowl. And this time we did the Immaculate Seed Cultivation Classic. So we reached out to our friends at Immaculate Seeds, and they were able to provide 5 seeds of 2 different genetics to all the growers. We also teamed up with House and Garden, and all the growers who entered got a bottle of Roots Accelerator to start off with too.
Okay.
And then we basically we didn't tell them anything. We just handed them some seeds and said, you got to turn these in May.
I found these in console of my car. Good luck.
Well, no, so we knew what these seeds were, and
Gotcha.
we knew what the genetics were that we were giving to everybody, but nobody else had any information.
Interesting.
It was only a little bit into the competition that I gave people the flowering times. So
Okay.
that they could build out their calendar and know when to harvest and, when to start to prepare for the turn-in date. And so, and it was really fun. So we had to, with everything going on, we did have to do it virtually.
Yeah.
But we were coming live from St. Louis at GrowActive Solutions, as well as up in Humboldt County at the Arcata Theater. So we had a theater. We were up on stage. Had big projection screen lights, the whole 9 going.
It's awesome.
We had a ton of sponsors come out and kind of do interviews, and they gave away a ton of stuff to the winners.
Yeah.
We did have 2 winners, which was really cool. We had his Instagram name is Terp Tyrant. From Kansas City.
I love it.
And he won our Best of Silver Ghost.
Okay.
And how we got to Best of is that we actually got all of everything lab tested.
Okay.
So this was not a competition for what's the best smoke or anything like that.
Oh,
It was
okay.
straight up who can produce the most THC and who can produce the most terpenes.
Okay.
And we got it lab tested and we crunched the numbers. And so Terp Tyrant won for our Silver Ghost strain, which was one of the strains that we gave out. And then the other one was Blockhead times Gift of Fire. And the guy who ended up winning the whole competition, his name on Instagram is Ebenezer's Ganja Farm.
I will follow both these people immediately.
absolutely.
Please, I'm going to stop the show so I can follow them.
I think we have a picture of one of his flowers. So he won the entire competition. He won. Here's a little poster for the competition.
Nice.
But
There it is.
this is one of the flowers.
You can switch this over to desktop too if you want for the people. Holy moly.
Yeah, that thing is
Okay.
crusted out, as you can see.
So did you give everyone the same seeds, but they didn't
Yes.
know?
Yes.
Okay.
So everybody got the same 2 genetics. One was
Gotcha.
Silver Ghost,
Okay.
which Immaculate Seeds has, but it's a Humboldt Seed Organization genetic, as well as, and also it was a feminized seed. And then we also gave out another Humboldt Seed Organization cultivar called Blockhead times Gift of Fire, which Immaculate Seeds also carries. And and so
That looks all right.
We
That
gave
looks
everybody
all right.
the same too.
Okay. Okay. So you're telling me what I'm getting from this whole competition is it really depends on you give people the same strain, same seeds. It depends so much on how you how you nurture it. Going back to what you were saying earlier, to get the best end result possible. So visiting people like you is, you can grow a plant with any seed, right? But are you going to get the most out of it?
Yes.
Why'd you start them out with Root Accelerator, just as just helping them out?
Just to get everything off to a good start. It's a great organic root stimulant. That's great to use on seedlings, cuttings, and just gets everything off to a really good start. Gets you a nice, healthy root system going, so those plants can start, coming up faster. It was a very short deadline that we gave them. I think the last day that you could have entered the competition was February 14th, and you had to turn in your harvested dried flower by May 14th. So it was a very, very tight window.
Huh?
Yeah.
Damn, yeah. Okay, did anyone show up with like a Charlie Brown, just pathetic looking weed, and you're like, come on, guy, what'd you do over here? Why'd you come see me at GrowActive? Come on, Charlie Brown tree.
So we did have, obviously there was a best, and obviously there was a worst, right?
Did you give them an award for the worst? Shame them, shame.
But
Name
at
names.
the same time, everybody did a great job. So the worst was not below like the middle. Everybody was kind of right there on point.
Dang.
And so it was really kind of cool to see how tight all of those percentages were, how close everybody was doing things. Now, it does come down to little factors, right? It's all in how the plant's grown. So what type of light you're using, what type of nutrients you're using, what type of environment that those plants are in is all going to make that plant do something completely different. And that's why really the competition, not to be too specific, but more or less came down to like 1 to 1.5% of terpenes. Like that's what actually ended up deciding the winner from really kind of the rest of the pack. So it was really cool to see, what people were doing and what products that the people were using in order to express different things in that plant.
You did a total science experiment on everybody's different, what they used, how they did their thing, and you could start building like case files on all of that and just figuring out what works best for what strain, because I'm sure different strains, different ratios of nutrients. Have you noticed anything about that? Or
there definitely is some that like more than others.
Really?
An old school blueberry is like notorious for like not feeding it anything. So if you think you've got like an original blueberry and you can feed it like any type of fertilizer, you don't have real blueberry.
Blueberry yum yum. That is insane. So you really gotta have a little knack for it too, like kind of figuring that. And it's always nature's always gonna keep you on your toes. It's not going to say, hey, here's the formula to grow the best plant. You always add these exact nutrients. I mean, I'm sure you can get it down to pretty much a science. But
Yes. And that's like what companies like House and Garden do. You know what I mean? They've worked with enough of these different genetics over the years to know, kind of there's ratios and stuff like that to get you
that makes sense.
Get you in that right ballpark your first time.
Okay.
But then over time, that's what does happen. You learn things as a grower, so, are you keeping your night temperatures a little bit cooler? Do you add an extra like sugar in that might help express some different terpenes? Do you, start to dim your lights towards the end? And, there's all types of tiny little techniques that can really start to edge, one grower away from the next. And that's what we wanted to do, like you're saying, is that we really wanted to bring in about the growers and how they're growing and not genetics. Because most competitions, it's bring your weed, right?
Yes, different genetics.
You bring what you've been growing the most or what you've been working on, and it's all about who has the best genetic, right? So we wanted to put the competitors more on an even playing field, and really have a competition that's grower for grower.
I love that idea.
I'm going to jump in here from the text line. Zach's wanting to know, when does the next contest start and where do I enter?
So you asked the right question. So
good
the
question,
next
Zach.
competition, we have not set anything in date yet, right? So we just did this last Saturday was the Immaculate Seed Cultivation Classic. But what I can tell you is that we are working on something huge. So this is kind of be something brand new. I was actually on a bunch of phone calls today discussing it, so I do not have any type of a date. But what I will tell you is that this competition is Missouri versus Oklahoma versus Colorado versus California.
Dope.
So there will be 2 parts to this competition. One
nice.
that's going to be kind of like the Immaculate Seed, where everybody will be kind of on the same playing field and everybody will be able to get the same genetics. And so that they can, really see, again, grower for grower, state for state, right? Who's going to bring it. And then on the other side of it, we will have a kind of a bring your own is what the thoughts is. So none of this
There's
is set in
also
stone.
there's also there's a suggestion on the line here, which is to have everybody grow from the same clones to see who can raise the.
It's federally illegal to cross state lines with plants.
There you go.
So how do you do? How are we getting around that with this 4-state deal? Or is it virtual, or like how are the 4 states gonna, you know what I mean? Like how are they gonna stack their wheat up against each other?
Well, we've got ways. That's a little bit of insider information there.
I'm just a good journalist, guys, asking the good questions around
Yeah,
here.
you said you were gonna get me with the gotcha joke.
I got him. I did it. Well, it's crazy. The period. Go ahead.
All
ahead.
the details are still being worked out. All of this is still very early on, and like
Because
I said,
Missourians are gonna kick some.
Follow GrowActive. Follow
absolutely.
GrowActive Solutions on all social media, and you'll find out as soon as it's announced.
Let's
Definitely.
see. Let's see, Missouri. This is your time to step up and shine. I mean, I know Colorado and California are always like, oh, we are known around the world as the best places. It's like, no, Missourians grow some great dope, dude. Like that's who's our boy?
John Hunt.
California
John Hunt.
John Hunt
boys,
quoted
like,
that.
you ever that Colorado weeds just all
dude.
dry?
Oh, we got Colorado in the house, so let's go. Let me know when it is.
Fuck you, man. This is great.
Yeah,
And
so Mo's
it's
gonna
fun.
bring it.
it's fun.
It's
What
fun.
a good competition.
And that's what it's about. It's expanding the community and, and bringing more eyes to here in Missouri, right?
No
Everybody
doubt.
still is, I can tell you from like our side of the industry, a lot of people are still sleeping on us. They don't think that it's happening here. We've got a great home grow and caregiving and patient system going on.
No doubt.
Here, right? And we have some great people that know how to grow plants. I mean, this is the Midwest, right? This is agriculture.
He's firing me up, dude.
Right?
He's
So
firing
I
me
really
up.
think
It
that
is.
This is the time that Mo can bring it and, kind of put itself on the map and
That's
say,
huge.
yo, what's up? What's up, Colorado?
Because a lot of our people have had to go elsewhere.
No doubt.
And that's what's awesome. A lot of those
Coming home.
A lot of them coming home. And that's what, I mean, you got me fired up, dude. I'm about to start growing in the other room. I'm going to win
doubt.
these nutrients right here. So am I eligible? I'm not eligible to win the nutrients
No, I
since
don't
I'm the
think so.
host of
No,
the
no,
show.
yeah, unfortunately.
Whatever. All right. You want to go ahead and start with the class here and let these people know? You got any
Yeah,
more questions
let's do
we
it.
want to get to before that? We good?
No, I think we're good right now. Everyone's
good,
just
we're
saying,
caught
"Let's
up."
go,
Yeah.
Mo. I'm ready to grow some
Let's
dank
let
nugs."
Beau teach us how to win this competition.
Yes. So the first thing I'm going to talk about tonight is nutrients, right? Because that is a very, very important thing. That's plant food, right? We need food. Plants need food. I enjoy food. They enjoy food. So it's that simple, right?
Nachos?
Yes, nachos.
Dumping nachos in your shit. Okay.
So don't do that.
Yeah, no,
Don't
nachos.
Don't feed your plants nachos.
This is nacho, and for nachos right here. All right.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
So,
We're enjoying ourselves.
So one of the things I wanted to talk about is first go over NPK. Because you hear about that so much in the gardening world, agricultural world. And that's, yes, your NPK, your nitrogen, your phosphorus, your potassium, right?
Okay.
And also, I want to go over this stuff because this is what's on the front of every bottle of fertilizer. So when you come into GrowActive and you're looking at fertilizers, each bottle has a numerical value on it.
Okay.
It's always in the NPK order. So what they do would be, I kind of have a cool little saying, is it's up, down, and all around, which makes it easy to remember.
Was that Dobbs? You still have from Dobbs? Remember, in, up, fixed out? Still have from Dobbs.
So nitrogen, and what I mean by up, down, and all around is nitrogen is up. So nitrogen is what grows your plants. That's what makes your plants green. That's what, really makes them grow, right? Phosphorus is down. Phosphorus is what builds roots. It also builds buds and flowers. So when you want to get down, and grow some cannabis at home, you also need some phosphorus as well as for root development. And then you have your potassium, and potassium's your all around. Potassium is really there as a kind of to help build the immune system for the plant.
Okay.
So you need cannabis is a potassium loving plant. And that's kind of one of the big things that makes it different than, say, tomatoes or cucumbers or a lot of other, fast-growing, high-yielding, plants is that it loves the potassium. Okay. And so that really, really helps the plant just, again, with its overall immunity. And immunity plays a big part because just like us, as humans, the better our immune system is, the better, we can fight off things, right?
Yeah.
So the same thing with plants. The better the immune system is, the more pest resilient it will be, the more mold and fungus resistant it will be, just naturally on its own.
Are you looking for soil that is high in these? Like, will you get like soil in some part of the, the Missouri River Delta or whatever, where it's really good and it'll be high in these three? Or how does that work? Or does your soil have not very much of any of this and you have to add all three of those yourself?
So, it depends on your soil.
Okay.
So, and this is really talking about, you can really talk about product to product, whether you're talking bag soil, or you can talk, farm to farm or garden to garden if you're talking outdoor soil. Yeah. So real quickly, in outdoor soil, it's really, you can't tell that stuff. There is soil tests out there, right? That you can, there's, easy do-it-yourself ones at home. We also do soil testing at GrowActive Solutions. And so we can completely break down what is in your native soil and tell you what you are deficient in, maybe what you're, what you have too much of, and how you can unlock and really build that soil. Now, if you're talking bags of soil, which is what most people are gardening at home from, right? It really depends on that bag. So companies make a bunch of different soils out there with a whole bunch of different nutritional value, whether that's a high nutritional value, which people are now referring to as like a living soil. So that has like everything that you need to get through an entire run, kind of theoretically with just water. So everything's already contained inside of the soil. It's a very hot soil, so you don't want to necessarily plant like little plants into it. But
hot soil?
Yes, hot. It's got a lot of nutrients. That's what we call it. It's very hot, rich in nutrients.
Hot soil.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, and your plants, little plants don't like that hot soil.
The hot soil.
No.
I didn't know that.
So, there is soils out there that do have a lot. And then there's other ones that have virtually none. Like I personally use a soil that has no nutritional value whatsoever because I like to be able to add my nutrients the way that I want to add my nutrients when I want to add my nutrients. I don't want something kind of lingering around in the soil and breaking down at different rates and, giving different supplies to my plants more than what I want to provide at that point. Now, because if I screw up, I can blame myself. If the soil messes up, I can't blame the soil. Yeah. Right? You can't yell at the soil.
You could, I guess.
Yeah. Go Office Space on your container soil,
How dare you? You've ruined me. No, that's pretty interesting because I guess instead of nachos, you're going to be giving them bananas. But just finding out, talking about living soil and just different places grow plants better than starting with that blank slate, that clean palette. That's interesting because you can, this one needs a little bit more of this, needs more of this. Now, do you reuse soil? So if you added all these elements to one plant, could you theoretically start another plant in that same soil or you just keep growing the same plant in the same? How does that work?
So you definitely can reuse your soil. Now that's going to depend on what type of fertilizer you're really using. So
you don't have to put new fresh soil every damn time you're doing this whole run.
No.
You
So-
should make it like that. That's a business thing right there. You got to put new soil in each dang time you're doing it.
Well, so there's, there's different thoughts to that,
Yeah.
right? And there's different reasons why companies make things certain ways, right?
yeah.
Our friends over at the Green Grows, that's a product line that we also carry at GrowActive. They make an all-organic dry fertilizer that's cannabis specific. They actually make something else that's for hemp. It works for cannabis too, but that's how specific that they're getting.
Okay.
And so they are, it's just a all organic living soil. So you can build your own. And they promote you to reuse your soil. So they actually make a product, it's called Earthshine, and that's meant to be used at the end of your run to rebuild your soil once you're done with it. So that will add a whole bunch of stuff back. You add a little bit of that and a little bit of their veg fertilizer, and you basically have better soil than when you bought it originally, because now you've got all that great stuff living and teaming up in that
nature.
soil. Yeah, all that nature
baby.
happening.
Ooh,
Right?
I love it. All right, I could ask you questions all night. We'll move. I guess, are you done with the NPK, or you want to move on, or you?
Yeah, I mean, yes, because most people know what NPK is, right? And one thing I do want to say real quick before going over this, before going over NPK, is that because I get a lot of questions all the time at the store, and I get a lot of people who come in and say, hey, my buddy told me I need a 10-10-10, or I need a 20-20-20. They need some type of specific ratio. And so with that, I just want to remind people that that's a ratio. So a 10-10-10 is also the same thing as a 5-5-5. Now, if you're not familiar with fertilizers, I am talking complete Greek to you.
Is that these three though?
Yes.
Okay.
And so that's why I wanted to start with these, is because this is on the front of every single bottle.
Gotcha.
And so this is the best way when you first glance at a bottle of nutrients to know what it does, what its function is.
Will these have them on?
Yes. They do.
Okay.
So every single fertilizer out there in the world has to have an NPK on it. Okay. But from that NPK value, you can tell what is it good for. So if it's higher in nitrogen, it's probably for growing. If it's higher in phosphorus and potassium, it's probably for blooming. So, but those numbers that are on the front of each one of these bottles is just simply ratios. So it doesn't necessarily have to do with the strength. Now it can. And generally, when you're dealing with, let's just say not great fertilizers, those numbers are going to be higher because they have to add more in. Sure. When you're dealing with, ones that are, really, really high end, they have a lower NPK. And but it doesn't mean that they do less or that they are designed to not grow your plant as well. They're designed to grow your plants better. They just use a better ingredient to get to there.
Gotcha.
So again, that's one of the big myths that if people at home are watching, I know that they have questions.
That's big
about
to know.
That. Yes,
that's a big thing to know if it's on every damn bottle.
Yes,
that's huge.
Definitely. So then we get into the fun stuff, which is your secondary macronutrients, which is your calcium, your magnesium, and your sulfur. And why I say that these are the fun ones is because everybody at home who's grown has had the CalMag blues before.
Oh, the CalMag blues.
So calcium and magnesium are very, very important to your plant. Number one, calcium is there to, build the cell structures, right? So it does the same thing that it does for us.
Do you water them with milk? I'm just going to keep making references like that. I'm sorry, everyone.
You do not water them with milk. There's a bunch of different ways that we can get calcium.
Have you tried?
I have not tried. I've heard of people trying it. And,
of course you have.
My plants stink. Yeah, you got all that spoiled milk in the bottom of it.
But it really helps build, the cell structure of the plant.
Okay.
And
important.
Calcium also is one of the only nutrients that does not flow through the actual nutrient veins in the plant. So calcium is actually transported through all of the water veins in the plant. And so calcium deficiencies are generally helped by foliar spraying more. And that's also why a lot of people growing with LEDs also run into these CalMag issues. So CalMag, I mean, you can run into it with anything because, again, cannabis absolutely loves calcium. And then magnesium, not to get too far, off of things, but magnesium is also responsible for photosynthesis.
Okay.
And so those things need to be very
Chlorophyll, more like borophyll. Am I right? Sorry.
high. And so...
what does it look like? What is that? Were you getting into that? What do your plants look like when they got the CalMag blues? They like turn yellow or
Yes, yes. They will
That's
turn...
the yellow thing?
Yes.
That's
Yep.
the yellow
Can you bring them back?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. So, and that would be using a product like CalMag. There's a million different products out there on the market called CalMag or some variation, right?
Oh, God.
And those are products that are designed to help fix that calcium and magnesium issue. But calcium, it also, it really just helps build the new tissue, new growth.
Yeah.
And what I was saying with the LEDs is that a lot of people at home who are growing underneath the LEDs, and a lot of new people is that LEDs aren't powerful enough to make your plants sweat. Where there's the old school high pressure sodiums, those big hot lights, those had some oomph to them. And they can make your plant sweat. So we could transpire, the plant would actually sweat and would transpire the calcium from the roots through the plant and then out through the leaves. And so with LEDs, you're generally finding that you need to add more calcium. We find, at least in the shop.
Is it from it getting hot, warm?
It's because they're not
They're
as
not
hot.
getting warm.
Yes.
Well, aren't LEDs cooler than...
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Yes.
But
So because the LEDs are cooler, they're not powerful enough to make
to
the
make them
plant
sweat. Yeah, so they got to get warm to sweat.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So they're just like a freaking, person warming up and then sweat. That's how sweat works, Craig. I'm
Yes.
trying to explain it to
Trying
everyone
to
out
explain
there.
sweat to our
Yeah.
audience?
But
No,
that's
it's the exact
that's
same
wild. I've
thing.
never
It's the
heard-
exact same thing.
That is wild. I guess, do they get hot enough by the sun's rays outside to sweat, or
Yes.
is that something?
Yeah, absolutely.
Damn, man,
Yeah.
this dude blows my mind every damn time.
Now,
he comes over.
granted, again, you need to have the calcium there in the soil outside for it to do that. And
So if
just
you're
like-
calcium deficient, will it sweat?
well, you won't. Well,
Maybe.
I don't
Maybe
know the
not.
exact science on that one.
Okay.
I mean, it would be trying to sweat.
But it wouldn't have the right nutrients.
Yes.
So you're not giving it the best chance to be the best plant it can be.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is like raising a child. Like, you had so much potential and I ruined you. I got my kid's got the CalMag
I'm gonna
blues.
go ahead and
So-
let's see here. I'm going to jump in from the text line just because I like this one in particular.
Okay.
Let's see here. Our friend Tiffany Jones says, "Wild how plants are like people, losing minerals with sweat. Steve knows the crampy magnesium blues."
Forget her.
LOL.
Whatever. Don't tell me. She's always
What's the
eating
crampy
it.
magnesium blues?
I always cramp up every once in a while. Well, I don't always, but I would get, if I stretch real weird because I'm not flexible, I'll be like, "Oh, Charlie horse in the old muscle right here."
Well-
listen, I was old Mason tender, okay, guys. So
If I may, Steve also is fairly braggadocious about how he doesn't need water to survive,
I don't need any water. I've trained my body to not need a speck of it.
but he gets the crampy magnesium blues.
If that's the worst thing that happens to me from running my life, I'm the opposite of Kevin Costner in Waterworld. That's the deal. I think you were talking about photosynthesis
Yes.
being with calcium. Is that
Magnesium.
magnesium.
And that's actually why I was asking what the magnesium blues is, because that kind of would have rolled right into if you said you would did like some type of soak with Epsom salt.
Should
I
I
was
do that?
hoping you were gonna go there.
Should
but
I
you
do
didn't.
that?
No, it's all right. I'll take it from here.
No, I mean, should I soak in Epsom salts to help myself?
Well,
Yes.
you could, yes, definitely.
Okay, Craig, you could have told me this before rather than
No,
just
I don't
agreeing
care
with
that
him
much
being
about you.
I know that. Is that, I guess, same as float, or is that what are those different salts?
Sure, yeah. No, yeah. Just heavy
Float
salt.
tanks.
Yeah. So anyway, so
I was like,
so magnesium. This is another one that we run into a lot at the shop. And a lot of people have magnesium issues as well. And magnesium is responsible for photosynthesis, in general. So if you do not have enough magnesium, your plant is not taking in the light energy and then converting that to food energy, and so therefore your plant is not growing. Simple as that. everything gets stunted. Everything will start to get yellow. It's gonna, it just starts to curl and it doesn't look like a
look.
Yeah, no, it's not a good look.
Not a good look.
And so, magnesium is really important. And again, it's one of the big things that really cannabis really needs a great amount of. Not over in excess, because again, you can overdo everything.
Gotcha.
But I see a lot of people out there on social media when they're posting pictures, and a lot of people who come into the shop who are asking questions and stuff like that, some people out there definitely need a little bit more magnesium.
You know who he's talking to out there. Okay, so you're talking about most of this getting through to the soil, calcium with sometimes you spray it on. Do people pump in nitrogen-rich air into the plants ever, or is that a thing?
So I don't know if anybody has done that, but we do have.
Greg, let's get out of here and try.
We have nitrogen-fixing bacteria.
Okay.
So there's a bacteria that we can add into your soil that will actually help convert the nitrogen from the air into usable nitrogen for your plant. Because really the sources of nitrogen that are out there really aren't earth friendly a lot of the times.
Yeah.
You have the ammoniable nitrates, you have urea nitrates, and they really aren't great for, again, for the environment. So a lot of organic farmers are converting over to using these nitrogen fixing bacterias. There's also phosphorus fixing bacterias as well, but that can really just take the nitrogen right out of the air and put it right into the soil.
We got a question on the line here. What is a good natural source of magnesium?
Epsom salt.
Epsom salt.
Yes.
There you go. Okay.
Yes. So Epsom salt is absolutely terrific for your plants. It is all organic.
You mix it with water and then just.
So you can either add it to the base of your plant.
Okay. Just sprinkle the salt.
Yes.
On the.
Yes.
Shoot,
so actually, a lot of these fertilizers are salt based.
Salt of the earth.
Yes. And
that's where that saying comes from.
So
hydro
a lot of what's in
Beau.
in all of your fertilizer bottles. If you own a bottle of fertilizer, there is salt in that bottle. So unless it is 100% organic, and even then, because again, Epsom salt is organic, and it is still a salt. But unless you are using 100% completely, organic fertilizer, every single bottle of fertilizer out there has salt in it.
Oh my. Okay, is it? So you're going to be adding these with your nutrients, probably with your, since you start with soil that's kind of got nothing in it. If you took a plant, and I guess that kind of goes back to your experiment where you take a plant that's just grown in soil and then where you can monitor these, is this more of a risk for a new grower to start messing with these? Do you recommend they just say, listen, I don't really know, or do you recommend them? Well, obviously, if they came to talk to you, is this a fairly easy system? Because it seems, oh God, my nitrogen's high, phosphorus is low, potassium's high, magnesium's okay, sulfur's okay, and is there tests for each one of those? You can double question there.
So there is absolutely tests for every single one of those if you want to get deep into that science.
Sure.
But
are you looking for signs from the plant that are telling you?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. You need to look at your plants and you need to spend time with them and you need to look at them and see what they're doing. And then you can start to, figure out a way to start to diagnose some of these issues.
That makes sense.
Now, on the other hand of it, that is what separates every single nutrient company from the other nutrient company, is that they feel that they have a recipe that is better than this guy's, right?
Gotcha.
That monitors that NPK, the calcium, the magnesium, the sulfur.
It's doing it for you, the good ones.
Yeah, exactly. It's their proprietary mix. This is how they, they think that they have this mix correct. It's like pizza. What separates Papa John's pizza, all of them, right? Sure. It's just the different recipes. And so that's really what fertilizer is too.
We got a couple here. Let's see here.
Grace said
dehydration actually causes excessive sweating. Edward says vegan organics do not make you sweat, Beau. Edward Berna. Can Grow Cloud says, so would eggshells and Epsom salt combined be a way to organic solution for CalMag?
Yes, you could do that. I would probably go with something like a gypsum rather than eggshells.
Okay.
Or like oyster shell to get a good source of calcium.
Okay.
One that's available. So there's a lot of things out there that's, has,
Sure.
calcium in it, right? But it's all about what's available to the plant and not getting that stuff locked out.
Yeah.
So gypsum has a very, very, very high level of available calcium to the plant.
Okay.
So I think most gypsum sits
We're
in
talking about like drywall, which I like the gypsum. Isn't that
Gypsum
the-
board?
Yeah.
Gypsum's a
Is that
mineral.
it? So you can just take like a little bit of that. Is that the same shit?
I wouldn't necessarily do your drywall.
Yeah,
there is.
but it is made out. It does have the gypsum mineral mixed in.
I'm
with the
just
board
putting
for
it all
sure.
together that,
Yeah, all the building materials that come
yeah.
from nature.
Exactly. It's wild, man.
Yeah.
Beau always blows my mind whenever he's here. It's just I want him to live.
Well, he
in
knows
my
hydro.
ba-
He even-
I want him to
you
live
know,
in my
And
studio.
that's also the other thing is like I said, there is a lot of others. There's a lot of stuff out there that has it. Just
Yeah.
gypsum and drywall, right? Or
I'll
know,
rip this whole place down. Give it to my plants. Whatever your basement, my plants.
you'll never have a
hungry.
calcium deficiency.
Oh, that's amazing. All right, do you want to take us on to the next? Or you got any more on the magnesium, sulfur, calcium?
So sulfur, real quick,
Sure.
right? So to go with what's a really good source of magnesium, which is Epsom salt, because that is magnesium sulfate. So what makes up Epsom salt is just magnesium and sulfur. So that's where you can get that from too. And sulfur, what that does, basically that can also, in some plants, it can actually help fix nitrogen from the air, sulfur. So without even using that bacteria, your sulfur's already doing that on some plants. A lot of stuff in the peas family, I think, fixes nitrogen with sulfur. And then it also helps produce enzymes, vitamins, what else? Proteins and amino acids for the plants.
Okay.
So sulfur, combining when you have that really good, magnesium sulfur level, combined with your calcium, that's, really what most growers make the most mistakes with. Is right there is because a lot of those simple fertilizers, you're always going to have enough NPK. If you're making something that some company produces, no matter what it is, you got enough NPK there.
Okay.
Right? But really where you start to run into issues is in your secondary macros, and that's your calcium, your magnesium, and your sulfur. And that's because cannabis really just uses up more than what other plants do.
Okay.
And then we can get into the micronutrients. So I'm not going to go over what all of these different micronutrients do.
Damn it.
Because they all do a little something different, and we'd be here for the rest of the night. But
could do
again,
it.
this
I could
is
do it with
what
this gentleman.
separates high quality nutrients to just the general stuff out there. Your Miracle Grows, your stuff that's made for big ag,
Gotcha.
all that kind of stuff is all of the micronutrients. So, and especially in hydroponics, micronutrients come in big time. So in your soil, right, a lot of these micronutrients are just there. They're just present in a lot of the soils that are, just all over the world.
Gotcha.
Right? They have rocks in them. Those rocks have minerals. They break down. They,
This
things
is,
die.
This is earth and life, people.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so in hydroponics, you need to make sure that you're using a good micronutrient or that the nutrients that you're using have a great micronutrient package because essentially that is your liquid soil.
Because the water doesn't have any of that stuff.
Nope. At least not plant available.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah, gotcha.
So that's also another big thing to also remember when you're dealing with fertilizers is that there's nutrients and there's stuff there. So like kind of like the eggshell and the calcium, right? But what amount of that eggshell is actually usable to the plant? Or what amount of this type of fertilizer is actually available to the plant? Or how much does it need to be broken down by something else before it becomes available to the plant? And that's another way that you get, another reason why you have different nutrient companies out there. Are you, somebody who just uses, just basic agricultural type ingredients, or something like a house and garden, which uses pharmaceutical grade ingredients? That is readily available. That is very broken down and, is there in an instant. I used some House and Garden last night, some shooting powder, and I saw, actually, no, 2 nights ago, sorry, and I saw a 24-hour result from one of the products. So, something that quick, when it's readily available, your plants will respond. Also, mind you, that's in soil 24 hours, not hydro. And so, when you have nutrients that are, really reacting that quick and are that available to the plant, that's really what the plant needs. Or you're going to be spending a lot of time having that stuff break down. So,
damn.
Definitely.
That was just a clinic, dude. That's what it was all about. And I mean, it's a symphony.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're all equal parts to the machine.
No doubt. It's really, again, it's one of those things that's like, whoa, man, you're talking periodic table of elements and borophyll, chloro, molybdenum. I didn't even know that was a thing earlier. But you made it so simple that, no, this is your base. This is stuff that usually goes wrong. And the rest that's where you hone your skills, baby. Like in the home and garden, and people like you help make it so simple to put this into action. Yeah. Like it is, I don't know. It's awesome. I get fired up to grow every damn time.
Like this stuff, really no home grower out there is generally really concerned with this stuff down here because again, this is just what, this is what these companies do. They're making sure that they're taking care of that stuff on the most part. And again, that's what the difference is. But these are really the big ones that a lot of the home growers really need to know about. And just all the growers in general need to know, how these things react with each other. That, how one imbalance can really mess up, another. One big thing that I always see, not to get too technical here, but I know that definitely people out there have had this issue before, is that a lot of people don't know that phosphorus can lock out calcium, which locks out magnesium. So you can start to go down this rabbit hole of diagnosing your plant, right, where just from one issue, you start to lead into multiple different issues. And so that's where really getting in there and knowing your plants and getting in there on a daily basis or, as often as you can. But really spending time with them and also doing your research on the products that you're using and having some type of knowledge to go in there with to make sure that you have a complete nutrient and that you're not giving too much phosphorus because you want your buds to get big, right? And then you end up blocking out your calcium and your magnesium. And then now on a very basic level, you want big buds and you're not even photosynthesizing, right?
You're not even photosynthesizing.
What's the matter with you?
And you want big buds? You're not going to get big buds that way.
Exactly.
I've got a pertinent question here. Okay. First off, thank you for breaking all that down for us. Right. Dennison, he wants to get in touch with Beau. He's got a kind of a cool thing to talk to him about an enzyme surfactant that fortifies the natural microbes, or I'm sorry, there's all kinds of stuff getting past me here. Alicia asked, what needs to be brought into the shop for a customized recommendation? And your location, and is it appointment based? Maybe we should let everybody know you're down in the Tower Grove area.
Yeah, so we're down in Tower Grove. The address is 3612 Hartford. So we're basically right there at like Arsenal and Grand, just one block up. We're open. Right now, just with everything going on, we're still doing one customer at a time. But what you need to come into the store with really is
a dream.
That actually was going to be my first thing.
Really?
I said. Yeah, absolutely. A dream to grow. And then really what I need is like some square footage. Or
Don't be an asshole. Don't bring more than a dream, okay? Bring some specs.
What really, really helps me out is when you've looked around your home and you have figured out, hey, this is the corner that I have to grow. This is the space that I can dedicate to this garden. Whether that's a 2x2 or a 3x3 area, or you want to go up and have a 8x8 area, doesn't matter. I just need to know that space, right? And then we can start to equip out that space. The other thing that can really help me besides just what area that you have, is what's around that area. Is there doors? Is there a sink? Like, what type of immovable objects are we dealing with, right? Is there a window? You know, it's stuff like that. Really helps me out when I'm designing it, and I can design stuff in about 5 minutes. But that's just what really helps me troubleshoot some of those questions that I might have for you. You won't even have to answer those questions, because I know that, you know, you got a window right there. So when it gets tough, we can, you know, vent out that window or what have you.
We got water right over here from the sink.
Exactly. So just give me a layout of your space and just have an idea of what type of space that you would like to dedicate to growing, and we can fill in the rest. Because everything else, like I mentioned in the first one, is I don't like this stuff to be cookie cutter. Nothing about anybody's garden is cookie cutter. I don't like to sell kits, and I don't sell kits at the store, because I don't want anybody to feel like that they're being pigeonholed into this, right? That this is the way that it's done, and just slap a price sticker and say, see you later, right? Every single thing is a conversation, and we need to figure out what's best for you. You know, whether you're an able-bodied, you know, young man or woman who wants to get into this, and you just, you know, whatever works, right? Or, you know, do you have some type of medical issue that doesn't allow you to carry a 5-gallon bucket of water, or, you know, anything like that? So every little thing, you know, we can deal with, and we can diagnose on the fly. But if you just have an idea of what type of space that you have, that helps.
Can you? They're wanting to know. Can you help with the build out, or maybe refer them to someone that can help them with the install, the build of the process?
Yes, we could. Yes, we could.
No, it reminds me of kind of the old tradesmen, the old plumbers, and even like mechanics and stuff. When you become so skilled at something you care about, the mechanic can hear what's going wrong with the car before a computer can kind of tell you what's going on, or what, you know, these tests can tell you. That's where knowing guys like you come into play, because like you were saying, just making your room. Oh yeah, you got a door here, you got a door. You've seen it. You know, you've lived it. You, like you were saying, you just sit in there with your plants and get to know it. When you are in there with like this mystical old world knowledge, you know, and when you've lived it, like a plumber can be like, oh yeah, you got to snake out this drain over here. That's where your leak's coming from. With the plant, oh, it's turning a little yellow. You got the CalMag blues. You know, you got all those little things. Like, that's why it's awesome getting to know people like you and people who do what you do, because that is going to be so helpful. And you've put in the time, the work, the dedication, and it shows. I mean, when you're busting through stuff like this, it's like, dude, it shows. Your passion shows. It's awesome, man. I cannot wait to get some seeds in the ground. I'm gonna do it, man. We're gonna do it. We're gonna grow. We're gonna have a competition.
Steve and I are gonna grow our own first-time growers. We're gonna film the process that way, because honestly, one of the other things that is a bit intimidating is a lot of the people that are growing are like really good at this.
Really good.
Like, it seems really good at it.
It seems like, who knows? They could have been us the week before, because some of them, I'm like, oh my god, that thing is purple and covered in crystals, and they're like, yeah, I don't know. I went to Beau, and the next thing I knew, I had this. So I'm like, what? How did you do that, dude?
Yeah, so
it's
I
amazing.
think that'd be fun. We'll do
Let's
it.
do it. We'll put a little competition. I get
like
Beau on my team.
I love competing with Steve.
Yes.
I love it.
help
Okay, are we done with the periodic table?
Yeah,
of plant
I think we
nutrients?
can move on to this next one.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So this is where it gets real fun.
This is the fun part. I knew it.
So the other big thing, right, when talking about nutrients is your pH. And if you've done any type of looking into growing, you have heard the term pH. So number one, what pH stands for is potential hydrogen, right? So that's what pH stands for.
That's what that stands for.
Yep.
Why didn't I ever ask that
Did you
question?
ever take chemistry class?
No, I love
I
chemistry.
didn't know that either.
I love litmus tests. Isn't that the little paper that I was like, dude, it's purple or whatever? Like, I love me some. That's why I'm fascinated by all this. Go on.
All right. So
Potential hydrogen.
So pH, so we just talked about those nutrients and what those nutrients do. pH is the measure of how acidic or base something is, right? And so what that has to do with is how those nutrients are breaking down and how those nutrients are becoming available to the plant. So you can be adding all of the fertilizer in the world, right? But if your pH is off, you're not breaking it down and you're not making it plant available. Yes.
I knew you were going back to that because that seems to be the theme. Plant available.
Absolutely. And even for the guys who are watching for the hydroponics, for you know, organics and stuff like that, it's all about plant available, right? Because it doesn't matter how much is locked up or unavailable to the plant. It matters how much is available to the plant, right? And so one of the biggest ways that we can make our fertilizers work more efficiently and become more plant available is through how we pH our solution, how we pH our water that's going to be going through the plants, how we tune our lime or sulfur when you're building something like a living soil. But this chart right here shows basically how those different nutrients get broken down, right? So we got your nitrogen, your phosphorus, potassium, sulfur, calcium, magnesium, and the rest of them here, right? And so really in most indoor gardening settings, we're going to want anywhere from a 5.8 pH to a 6.3 pH. Hydroponics is more recommended at that 5.8. Peat is also...
So that's somewhere right in here is where you're living?
Yes, exactly. And then for your...
Looks like you're testing fate there.
Whoa! now you're seeing something, right? Now you're seeing a correlation, right? And then with soil, we generally want our pH to be 6.3. So we can go as high as neutral. You know, some old school soil gardeners used to go up to like 6.8 or so. But as you can see, what happens when you come up here to 6.8, right? You start to get into the green area, right? So that's why it's always been a big, you know, back and forth about what's the correct pH, right? And so really kind of just like where we've landed is hydroponics, again, should be 5.8. But that's also why you can see we sometimes end up with the CalMag blues, right? And so that's where we need to put in more plant available calcium and magnesium. It does, you know what I mean? Again, we can be adding all the calcium magnesium that we want, but if we're not making it plant available, then no matter what pH we're going to set it to, right? Then you're going to have some issues with the 5.8. So that's where, you know, now you can see how and why these nutrients get broken down and why we need to keep those nutrients at certain pH values and why, you know, a pH meter or litmus paper and just really double checking that is really, truly important. Because again, you're spending good money on these fertilizers, right? You know, I run the shop. I know how much they cost. Right, you know, right.
I've seen the numbers, people.
Right, you guys are spending the money on the stuff, right? You need to make it work.
Okay,
and so
is strongly acid? Isn't the higher number the acid above 7 more acidic?
No, lower.
Oh, shit, I am learning.
Yeah,
some shit
you
tonight.
weren't paying attention, were
Dude,
you?
I got straight A's. Okay, you know, I'm brushing up on all my
You
stuff.
didn't know
CBC.
potential hydrogen, doesn't know about acidic. Oh god,
CBC.
I'd like to. I will agree
he knows
with
about
you
the
on
Molly
that.
Bedlam. He had my back on that.
I
one.
didn't know that one. No, this is just I can see it makes sense right here. You're putting it in. Even a CBC guy can understand the color system he's got going on here. You know, it's phenomenal, man.
Yeah, and so this is like, you know, this is a really old, you know, kind of chart that you just don't see around much today, you know, and so that's why I wanted to bring it out for everybody, which a lot of people have seen these charts. A lot of people don't know how to read these charts, or again, you just haven't seen one. And so this is just really important to understanding how your plant is actually breaking down those nutrients, getting them into your plant, and making them useful.
So alkaline, you don't. It's bad to be anywhere above 7, right? Like, or no?
Yeah, no, you really don't want to be up there.
Okay.
Now there is some plants
Because you would
there.
think, oh, anywhere between 7 and 8, I should be good. You know, that's what I would think, honestly, if I'm staying right in that middle area. This tells you no, kind sir,
Yeah.
Stephen. This is no.
Exactly.
You're wrong.
Yeah. So you want to be down a little bit more, you know? And there
Yeah.
is some plants out there that do like more of an acidic pH. So like your roses and some flowers, you know, your blueberries, right? Back to another blueberry
Blueberry.
reference,
Yeah, we'll
right?
talk
But the
about
real
Walnut.
blueberries, right?
The actual blueberries.
Those like a little bit more of an acidic soil. That's actually what helps them turn blue. So, you know, so it is crop dependent, right? So there is different things if you're growing different stuff that, you know, what I'm saying does not apply to,
Okay.
right? But when we're talking cannabis, that is why so many companies are going to tell you to be into that 5.8 to 6.3
Gotcha.
range. And you could creep up like, you know, to that 6.8 type of level, you know? But then
That's on
also
you.
brings in that a lot of people get really locked in on. I see people go from one extreme to another, right?
Okay.
So either people do not care about their pH or don't know about their pH or don't understand the importance that it is, and so they're not really doing anything about it, to people who get really into it and just like, if it comes to 5.9, oh, I'm hitting it with the pH down. Like it has to be 5.8, right?
Gotcha.
Which necessarily isn't always the right thing for your plant, because again, as we can see, when you move from 5.8 up to that 6.3, you know, there is different things that are going to become more available. Now, granted, you are making some more calcium and magnesium available. You're getting out of the red and into the yellow. So you might not fix all of your problem, but what you're doing is you're making sure that those different nutrients are becoming more available. So it is okay to have a little bit of a pH slide in hydroponics.
Okay. Are you trying to match your pH? Like at this part of the cycle, it needs to be 5.3. At this part of the cycle, 5.8.
No, not necessarily. You generally always want it, no matter what stage you're in. If you're in hydroponics, at 5.8.
Okay.
But if your reservoir, you know, and some nutrients are actually made to allow a pH swing. So some of them on their own will actually go from that 5.8 and swing up to maybe 6.1 or 6.2. And that might be a natural occurrence for that, and that's how that nutrient was made, to make some more of those nutrients more plant available.
Is that the nutrients doing that, or is that the plant sending signals to
That's
the pH?
nutrients.
Okay. Can a plant change the pH of the water it's in? Like if the plant is doing something?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I don't believe so.
They're sentient. They're just
On the text line real quick, Erica
Sure.
on YouTube is asking, what's good to get more copper?
So that's where you're going to be getting into your micronutrients. So whether you're in hydroponics, right? You know, if you really just want straight copper, I don't know about what straight copper would be, right? But if you're going to be
Copper,
talking,
I think you like just put
Pennies.
like bars of copper in the soil.
but again, making that plant
of house.
available,
Yeah, sure,
right? So
sure.
what would need to happen pH wise or on a microorganism level, right, to
Yeah.
make that copper actually plant available? But if you need more copper in your plant, that's going to be a micronutrient. If you're in hydroponics, making sure that you're using one and making sure that it's a good one that does incorporate all of that. Or if you're in soil, you could be using something like azomite. Azomite is a mineral rock dust that contains a whole bunch of trace elements. I forget the exact number. I want to say it's in like the 20s, 30s, you know, way more than I had up on the screen, right? And so that's a really good way of getting more of those micronutrients in your soil. And most agricultural products at this point are going to be, you know, have enough copper in there for your plants. So my thing to him would be is that if you have a copper deficiency, you probably have another issue that's going on that's making you think that you have a copper deficiency. I highly doubt that you have a straight copper deficiency if you are using a bottled nutrient and growing cannabis.
Got it. Erica says, okay. Joe Biondo Jr. says low diluted copper sulfate. I don't know. So
Yeah.
What does he know? Is he on camera?
This is
Yeah, no,
the
I
Joe
mean,
Biondo show. Certain, I'm just kidding. It's awesome.
Yeah, we appreciate all the help we can get. Are you seeing more companies market directly towards cannabis, or is that already just straight up happened? Like a company that obviously didn't start in the cannabis nutrients. Are you seeing more companies say, yes, this is for weed? Because I remember people who would grow back in the day, they're like, I got to go to Worms Way and get some lights and some stuff for that. And now you see, this is the Dro 5000, man. Which he'll install a cookie cutter piece into your house. He went over it earlier. Just kidding. But are you seeing that with people direct marketing for cannabis?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. You know, it is a cash crop.
Yeah.
You know, and there's been companies around for forever who have been pushing the envelope. You know,
And do you think that's, the cannabis we have here is better than our tomato one? Because you did say there's differences. They want different things, different plants, even some different strains. So do you, you think they can get it that fine tuned? Is that?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So I mean, there is cannabis specific nutrients out there. That is one of the things. I'm not arguing what that gentleman said, the copper sulfate, right? But my
No, go
thing
ahead.
to the other
Drag
gentleman
him.
is just make
It
sure.
was a she,
that,
yeah,
that if
Erica,
you-
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No worries.
She.
got girls.
Is just make
2020,
sure
Beau.
that it's an agricultural grade at least.
Right.
You
on.
know,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
so that's where, giving those exact ones, you know what I mean, are kind of hard, because really where you're going to be getting those nutrients from, you need to just at least make sure that chemical or fertilizer or whatever you want to call that is at least an agricultural grade if it's going to be something that you're going to be ingesting, because there could
No
also
doubt.
be an industrial grade thing, right? And so there's a whole lot of ways that you can kind of go down that path and start to get into some weird stuff.
Yeah.
So just make sure that it's agricultural grade, and that's where, something more organic sometimes is
Gotcha.
on a better route.
There's a question on here. We've noticed that bubbling your nutrient mix for a few hours seems to balance the pH levels. Has anyone else observed this? And in reply to that, someone said, I've observed my pH increase when aerating water. You got any thoughts on those?
So what was
The first one was, we've noticed that bubbling your nutrient mix for a few hours seems to balance the pH levels. Has anyone observed that?
What's bubbling it mean?
Pushing air into it, I guess?
Yes, yeah. So just using an air pump and an air stone and just putting more oxygen into that water.
Like you were talking about on our last episode. We were talking about,
Exactly. And so really from water supply to water supply, well to well, it's going to all change. So you are going to see different things from different water all over the place. And so I can't really comment on the stabilization or, the other gentleman saying that it's rising. You know what I mean? I'm not doubting any of that, right?
He's calling you guys liars to your face.
I am not doubting any of that, but what happens with your water in those conditions is going to be based upon your water supply, right? So just what's the differences from here, there, and everywhere, from this tap to your tap to my tap.
Gotcha.
And so, and different municipalities are going to use different chemicals to treat the water in different ways that are going to have, different reactions when aerated or when boiled or when filtered or, any type of what you're doing to it.
There's so many little things that can go into it too that you can.
Guys, I think it's probably a good idea to kick it to a GrowActive commercial real quick.
Yeah,
And
probably.
then on the other side, we'll keep educating some people. We'll have a couple
No
shout
doubt.
outs to make and keep having some fun.
No
What do you
doubt.
think?
Sounds good.
All right, let's kick it to a quick little commercial made by some of the best in the land.
Hey DJ Shabba.
Hey, ladies.
I'm gonna smoke a little weed, boy. I wanna grow some trees, boy. When I grow all the weed that I smoke, and I blow all the trees that he grows, and I smoke all the weed that I grow, and I grow all the trees that he smokes. Well, I'm growing and I'm smoking. So I go see Beau. Puff, puff, pass. And I smoke what I grow, yeah. GrowActive solution. And I'm growing the hydro.
Beau knows hydro.
And I'm growing the hydro.
GrowActive solutions.
Beau no hydro. Beau no hydro. Beau no hydro. Beau know how to grow. Beau know how to grow. GrowActive solution. Beau know how to grow. GrowActive solution.
All right, everybody. Just a reminder to like and share this video. Tag a friend in it to be eligible for the giveaway. Also, want to shout out the Canna Convict Project. Their mission of the mission of this collective is to assist our Missouri nonviolent cannabis inmates with their release from prison, as well as create an exit plan that will assist them as they reintegrate back into society. Check out naturesagonist.com, the Canna Convict Project on Facebook. They can sure use your help. A noble cause for the community, because before all this stuff was legal, it was those black market people making us proud that took the risks to make sure that people got their medicine and everything. So let's make sure that we take care of them in kind. Check out the Canna Convict Project on Facebook. And now back to our friend Beau Bradley from GrowActive Solutions.
And Steve Elgin.
Oh, and Steve.
All right. Beau, you're blowing our minds. Let them know one more time as we come back from break here how they can get a hold of you and where you're located.
Okay, so you can get a hold of me, GrowActive Solutions. So you can email Beau, which is Beau, at growactivesolutions.com. You can hit up our Instagram. Or our telephone number is 314-899-0179. You can write me a letter, whatever you choose to do. I have gotten those before, actually. That's how you get a hold of me. And we are in the Tower Grove section of St. Louis, 3612 Hartford Street. Right there, right around Grand and Arsenal, right by the Tower Grove Park. It's really nice.
Short for Beauregard, too, is what he taught us on the last show.
Mr. Jefferson Beauregard.
Mr. Beauregard. All right, I want to learn some more. What do we got here with the... Oh, I know. I already know. You already taught me nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium.
Oh, he's paying attention. He's learning.
Oh, shoot. Take
Hang
me on
on,
a journey.
no. I think that's nitrogen, phosphorus, and ketamine.
Ketamine.
Wrong K.
Okay, silly.
Fair enough.
All right. So this one is, this is kind of tricky, guys. And a lot of you guys who have been growing out there have looked at one of these deficiency and toxicity, posts on the internet. Once you have the CalMag blues, right, and you're starting to see that your plants are getting a little bit yellow or they're doing something weird, right? Then you go on to Google and you type in, my plant's getting yellow, right? Right? And this is what comes up, right? Something like this. Literally, that's exactly what I did. This is what came up.
No, this is what comes up. Like, this is actually what came up. I do like this. Leaves lose luster. Like, they were like, yeah, the day before.
We need some alliteration.
So the leaves turn yellow. You Google it. This is what you get.
Yes. And so this is a really great tool, but this is also how you can go down the wormhole of fixing a problem and then creating a problem and fixing a problem and creating a problem. Right? So, real quick, we got the nitrogen, we got the phosphorus, we got the potassium. There,
Whatever.
whatever.
Ketamine's a lot easier to say, isn't it?
Ketamine, whatever you want to call it.
All right. I can talk. All right. So then we also have on this side of the plants, right, we got the excess, which would be a toxicity. And then on the right side, we have the deficiencies. And this is what the signs would be, right?
This side looks good.
Yes.
What are you talking
about? Look at that bottom leaf there, bud.
Well, you got one bottom leaf that needs to come off there.
Yeah,
These are green and
see
lush,
how they're
baby.
starting to like bend down and not look
I
great.
didn't notice that.
Yeah, they're not all sticking straight out.
Yep.
See, you gotta spend some more time with
They
the
lost
plants.
their luster.
They did lose their
Oh,
luster.
you just bastard. Oh, shit. Okay. So that okay, so 'cause it kind of looks, it could be okay, but when you know the little signs, it's gonna change everything for you.
Yes, absolutely, and you're able to address that stuff much earlier and much faster and in the right way. Now, again, but I want to show you guys how we can go down this wormhole, right? Sure. So, with nitrogen, basically one of the big things is that your stems, when you have a toxicity, right? Your stems and your leaves are going to get weak. So a lot of people, I don't want to say it's hard to overdo nitrogen. If you're using not great fertilizer, it's kind of easy to overdo your nitrogen. So if you're, again, it just kind of is all in what you're using and your knowledge. But nitrogen can, burn pretty easily, and you can get a toxicity, and everything will just start to become weaker. Okay. Right. One of the things when you have a deficiency, right, besides that your leaves lose luster, right, you start to get a yellowing that goes upwards, right, because that's where the nitrogen's coming from, right?
So it'll start here and move its way to the top. Oh.
Yes, yes. And also, that's how you can tell kind of the difference between if you're having a nitrogen deficiency, which sometimes you also definitely can run into that, or light burn. A lot of the times people will think that they have a nitrogen deficiency, right? But it's actually that their plants are too close to the lights because the lights are sunburning, and that's what's yellowing the leaves. But that's happening from the top down because that's where your lights are, right? So when you're starting to have yellowing that's coming from the bottom, that's how you can know that it's related to nutrients, is because, again, the nitrogen's coming from the roots and moving upward through the plant. So that's why it specifically says, it's going up. Yeah.
Makes sense.
A lot of this stuff, when you really just sit down and think about it really just... okay.
Question on the line asks, won't you see it in the freshest part of the plant as well?
Yes, you can. You definitely can. So it's a lot of these things you can see a whole bunch of different stuff. Okay. Generally, we're gonna get to it because, again, you can kind of go down a rabbit hole of fixing this and getting this and having this result happen, right? And so, yes, you could see some symptoms in that new growth, but if you look over here at phosphorus, right, you can also get that from a phosphorus toxicity. You're starting to see that you have, your newer leaves develop internodal chlorosis, and that your new leaves have thin blades, right? And now if we look over at potassium, what does that say too? That says the same exact thing.
Intervenous chlorosis, no.
Yeah, you don't want that.
You do not want intravenous chlorosis.
That's as bad as deep vein thrombosis.
So really knowing, about what you're doing with these plants and what you're feeding them is made with is really, truly important.
Man, I've seen all these.
Yeah.
These are like, when your buddies are growing, they're like, I don't know, man. Plants are doing that and that. Oh, shoot.
I just call this strain Sunray, man.
So it's
good, actually. That's like a good strain.
Yeah. Varietal,
that's
Steve.
one of those things where, again, I don't want to say that he's wrong and say no to his question or anything like that, but you really got to start to get into the really, nitpicky parts of it.
Gotcha.
And starting to look at not one of these symptoms, but do you have a majority of this stuff happening, or what's it looking like it's starting to do? You know what I mean? So it's not...
Take a screenshot of this. If like whenever Craig pops it back up, he's been doing an excellent job on the 1s and 2s tonight. Take a screenshot of that. We had it shared.
Here, I'll tell you what. We'll give you nitrogen.
Oh, look at him. He's just showing off.
Oh, I am. Look, let me flex on you a little bit. You want some nitrogen? There's your nitrogen, baby.
Oh, Mike Otay's watching this right now.
You want a little phosphorus? I got you some phosphorus, baby.
Screenshots. Just take them, grab them, get them. Hopefully you get a couple screenshots of me and Beau, so you can do whatever you want with those.
Yeah, we insist on that.
But this is all... I literally, I don't know too many people. You know, I tried college, man. I remember so many people would be like, I got a couple plants. They either had this little Bernie thing here that is going on, or they had, well, bugs was a big one, or the yellow thing. It seemed like that was always kind of the deal with that. I mean, I told them, I was like, you quit that now. You knock that off. You quit that growing that marijuana. It's illegal.
That's
now.
illegal, dude.
It was 02.
Come on, man,
It was 02.
Leaders Against Marijuana Prohibition. We can definitely send you the image. Just reach out to us. We'll get you an image.
absolutely.
No problem.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Well, they could take screenshots too.
Yeah. No,
Sell
we're here to work for you, Leaders Against Marijuana Prohibition.
I appreciate you though.
GrowActive is.
Look at that. That's customer service. You know what I mean? That's
That's
the deal.
awesome.
So actually, if you want to zoom back in,
On which
quick,
one?
On the P and K.
All right.
Hang
on, brother.
Yeah, right around there, right? So I want to show you guys. So you said that you've seen a little bit of this happening in your
Yes.
buddies grow, right? So we have the leaf tips get burned. Now that's like kind of the number one sign that you've over fertilized, right?
Okay.
But now, what have you over fertilized with? Because again, both phosphorus and potassium, and if you go back to nitrogen, I'm pretty sure nitrogen also says it too, right? So,
You tell me.
oh, actually, it
Boom.
doesn't.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Well, see.
so I was wrong. Sorry about that.
You let me run.
Yeah, I will. All right. Back to phosphorus and potassium.
Tell you. Oh shoot.
So, if you see here, they both have the same symptom. You know what I mean? From two very different nutrients and the function of those nutrients. Now, if we go down to this line, right, to number 7 here, we got causes calcium, magnesium, zinc, and iron deficiencies. Now, if you go back over to this one, zinc and iron micronutrient deficiencies, calcium and magnesium deficiencies appear, right? So, by feeding too much of one, we can also start to lock out others. And so that's really understanding that balance of your fertilizer and really understanding what you are giving those plants and the specifics of how, just the puzzle pieces are
You
fitting
can't just
together.
be dumping it on there and be like, this will make it grow. More means better.
Exactly. And that's really one of the reasons why a lot of people don't have great success. I always just say it's too much love, right?
That's
So-
a very sweet way of putting it.
Yeah,
to people.
besides
You're-
you messed up.
Yeah,
dude.
you killed that plant murderer.
But a lot of people kill their plants with too much love, too much
Yeah.
fertilizer. They want it to grow big and strong,
I
right?
know,
And
that's
then they
what I
end
do.
up locking out those building blocks of life, right? And they block out the magnesium.
Craig did that to little bunnies on last week's show. He just wanted to love them so much.
I just wanted to tend to the rabbits,
He
George.
crushed them. He crushed them. Oh,
So, that's where,
That's huge.
again, looking at the symptoms in the leaves, right? Back to the first commenter, you will see signs of stuff in your new growth, but you really need to start to break down again, how many more of these symptoms do I have? You can't just be like, this is the problem. Let me go all full tilt, right?
Yeah.
It's you got to really kind of be mindful.
Finesse
of,
it.
Yeah,
Finesse
exactly.
that balance. The balance thing. What a lesson in life too. You're talking about, and other people talk about how therapeutic this growing is. The finding the balance, and then putting that into terms of your own life for real. Like,
I'll get you all fixed up, Lamp. You're good. I'm just having a little side.
Oh, okay,
here.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Just do whatever you gotta
So I
do.
can walk over you.
But I
That's
always
awesome.
say that too. Is like what's really cool is generally when people start growing is they start growing too. Now, not to sound like a cliche.
Oh damn!
But like,
damn, Beau, put it on a shirt already.
now we're getting some existentialism. All right, we can make some
what
time.
it is. That
yeah, because it's teaching you. You're like, I don't have kids, right?
Yeah.
So I have no type of discipline to get my butt up off the couch and stop watching.
Quit
TV,
bragging.
right? Stop eating all my ice cream, right?
God. Get
And
out,
so
Beau.
growing really, over the years has taught me, to get up. Like there's a discipline that you have to have. There is a balance in life that has to exist, right? And how all of that kind of goes into one another. And growing, in my opinion, is just a really great and fun way of figuring all of that kind of like deeper meaning kind of stuff in life out, you know? It can kind of really just set you down that path of you know, becoming a person that maybe you want to become, where it's not that stereotypical, you know, I'm going to grow a whole bunch of weed, blah, 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 blah. No, a lot of people end up doing a lot of good with themselves from doing this because it's just teaching you stuff that you're not doing on a constant basis, you know?
The patience aspect.
Got a couple of look like technical questions here.
Let's
so,
go.
would you recommend a product like Sledgehammer when there is a lockout or just a flush?
Yeah. So for the people out there who don't know, right? Sledgehammer is a salt flushing solution. I believe it's made by Fox. And so again, I guess it kind of really depends on really what you're using and what you're doing. Now, a salt leaching solution is definitely a quicker, more direct route and adding something to the water that is going to actually break down that salt and get that fertilizer away from the roots and out of your medium and clear all of that stuff out. But I guess it kind of really just depends on, you know, personal choice. So yes, short answer is yes, I would recommend it. Long answer is that water also works just fine, but it's going to take a longer amount of time for that to work. Some people don't want to add, you know, those type of, you know, whatever they're using. Some companies use like simple sugars to break down fertilizer buildup or salt buildup on your roots. Some people will use like a very mild acid. And so it really just depends on you and what you want to be putting into your garden, thus putting into yourself. So it's really a personal choice, but that is what that product is designed to do. It's designed to break down salts, to get that stuff away, unlock your medium and unlock those fertilizers and get your plants back to normal.
Plant available.
Okay.
Exactly.
Right on. Okay. Mia asks, should CalMag be sprayed on the leaves to absorb, or should it be put in the water too? And in response to that, Dennison asks, what about foliar feeding? What about foliar applications on outdoor grows?
So all day calcium through the leaves, right? Yep. Now you do need to add it to your reservoir, right? Okay. So you do need to give your roots and put calcium and magnesium into your water. But your plant will absolutely intake calcium and magnesium much easier through the leaves and much quicker through the leaves than putting it through your roots. So if you're having something like a deficiency happening, foliar spray that CalMag on there, as well as hit your roots with it. But you're going to get a much quicker and much better reaction from foliar spraying those 100% and absolutely outdoors. You should be foliar spraying your calcium all day. You know, again, it's just going to be a cheaper way of getting that, you know, that calcium available to your plants. So, you know, again, we can use different things in the soil to make it available, but this way, you know, you can really cut down some costs in your pre-planning when you're not building. You know, if you can cut down on a little bit of gypsum and you know that you're going to supplement with a foliar spray that's rich in calcium. So, but yes, your plants will intake calcium and magnesium through its leaves much, much easier than what it will through its root system.
Nice. Okay. Tim Extracts says, schooling with the Sophisticates, enjoying the show. Any preference on digital, analog, or chemical testing kits? I guess that's
for pH,
I assume. Yeah, that's what I imagine.
So
VD, is he asking for VD? Because I could answer that one.
I don't think that was the question. I don't think. And what would be an analog
Vertical
test?
dynamics is what I was
yeah. Well, that's scary. So as far as, yes, so I would definitely pick digital meters. You know, really, it's just the way to go.
Yeah.
You do need to make sure that you buy a quality meter. Because really a lot of them out there are just cheap pieces of junk.
Yeah.
So you should, that's one of the tools in your toolbox that as a grower, you should put a couple dollars in and make sure that you get yourself a good pH meter. Now, with that being said, litmus paper and drop test kits, all those will get you to there. And they will all tell you what your pH is, and they work perfectly. They've been around for forever. Yeah. But when you really need to get into adjusting, right? So you're going to mix up your reservoir.
Otherwise, you're going to go back and forth, like you were saying, because of one problem to another.
Yeah, and you're just going to be going up and down and all around and having to retest. Where if you have a digital meter, you just put that thing in there, it instantly reads out, or like in 10 seconds. And you have that knowledge right there at your fingertips, and you're able to also troubleshoot. So for me personally, and I think for most growers out there, you should definitely have a digital pH meter in your toolbox.
Huge.
There you go. Yeah, Dennison even added on that. I like digital because when you start adding nutrients, your water color can change. Digital meters don't care about color.
That too, absolutely.
Erica on YouTube asks, are you willing to name drop what you use for nutrients, I guess?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I've used House and Garden for years and years and years. I've used House and Garden now for 15 years. I stand behind House and Garden 100%, and that's why. Is because that is what I use personally in my own garden. Number one, they're all a great group of guys. I've worked with them for a long time. They've helped us out, do a lot of things over the years. And it comes down to that they're just, in my opinion, they're making a better fertilizer than what a lot of the companies out there are. Everybody's going to have their personal opinion on what's best. And obviously, if this is what I'm using, that's my opinion, right? Is that House and Garden is the best. And it just really comes down to the way that they approach plant fertilizer that is completely different than every other company out in the market. And that's what initially captivated me to use them. Their nutrients are different in the sense that they only use an A and a B fertilizer. So a lot of companies out there have a grow and a bloom, right? So you feed this during your grow stage, you have this during your bloom phase. Or they'll have a 3-part. You have a grow, a bloom, and a micro.
Okay.
And then a lot of companies will do a grow A and B and a bloom A and B. So what that sounds like to me is a whole lot of bottles that I have to buy, right? And
That's the
mind
reused dirt idea I was coming up with earlier.
I am from GrowActive, so I need to make some money to make this thing work. But we're starting to get to a lot of bottles now, right? House and Garden only has the A and B. So it is basically the way that they designed it is off of the square meal diet, right? So as a human, we don't sit down and eat all of our meat on Mondays and then all of our vegetables on Tuesdays. And then I know.
Weirdo.
I don't.
Weirdo. He doesn't eat Vegetable Tuesdays. Everyone knows that.
So the way that House and Garden works is the plants are intelligent enough, like we are, to know what they're hungry for and what they desire at the certain stages in life. So what House and Garden does is they've designed a perfectly balanced fertilizer that is always giving the plant the appropriate amount of everything that it needs and lets the plant design what it wants. So
Sounds easy enough.
Those
yeah.
bastards.
So you
They're good.
add truly all the way through your entire grow of their base nutrient, you add the exact same amount of A and B. You never add more A than more B or anything like that. There's no tweaking of that. You just slowly increase it by 1 milliliter every week per gallon of water, which is a very, very small amount. You're talking 10 drops. Right?
Yeah.
So that's the difference between week 1 and week 2 is going to be 1 teaspoon, which is 5 milliliters, to 6 teaspoons. To 6 milliliters, And so, you're just constantly
I think I
making
can do
that
this.
plate bigger.
Oh, I'm gonna dominate you in this. I am gonna.
I'm gonna grow the.
We should see if House and Garden wants to maybe sponsor this and
get in on this
yeah,
action.
get
I'm
on
down.
this action,
Yeah,
like
I'm in on
because
it.
they sound like the spot to be getting the stuff that make two bobos like us
If they-
be able
if
to
we can
grow
do it,
some
no doubt.
stuff like we saw on the screen earlier. Oh
My God.
Imagine that just sitting in your house, like, oh, can I eat that now? That's my problem. I'll just bite it off the damn plant if it starts looking like that. I'll just munch it down. I don't care. I have no patience. That's what I need to learn from smoking.
Look at the
Patience.
trichromes on
Look
that
at that.
Yeah.
That's
mean,
not
how-
bad for a little homegrown in Missouri.
Okay,
Somebody's
so
about
these are the
growing some-
leaves. Are they going to trim that off?
Yes.
They're gonna,
Yeah, you can make some nice extract.
I know, but like,
Make some nice butter out
I
of
don't
it.
know, maybe just French braided around there or something. I don't know. I'm willing
Make it look fancy for you.
I'm willing to take care of that. God, look at that thing.
Dude, it's
Wow.
it's something else.
Wow.
Yeah. And so just like, again, just like a human, you know, when you're a baby, right, you still need the same nutrients and everything that what a grown adult needs. You just eat a very much smaller plate of it, right? And then as you get bigger, you start to eat more and more. And so that's exactly how House and Garden works. It's just as the plant grows, you give it more, and you always are giving it what it wants. And then just some of the other products are just you know, ridiculously awesome. Like the Roots Accelerator, shooting powder. In your last 3 weeks of flowering, if you want to see a boom, use shooting powder. That's what I saw the difference in 24 hours in my soil with. My just buds, boom, they just start to explode.
We lost the picture, guys.
Why
We'll
don't
be
you
right.
hit him with a graphic, you amateur.
Oh, no.
Hit him with a commercial. Like I said, to change the battery during the other commercial. Just play that commercial again. Then people will love it.
DJ Shabba. Hey, ladies. I'm gonna smoke a little weed, boy. I wanna grow some trees, boy. When I grow all the weed that I smoke, and I blow all the trees that he grows, and I smoke all the weed that I grow, and I grow all the trees that he smokes. Well, I'm growing and I'm smoking, so I go see Beau. Puff, puff, pass. And I smoke what I grow, yeah. GrowActive solution. And I'm growing the hydro.
Beau knows hydro.
And I'm growing the hydro.
GrowActive solutions.
Bono hydro. Bono hydro. Bono hydro. Bono how to grow. Bono how to grow. GrowActive solution. Bono how to grow. GrowActive solution.
We thought you people would want to see that again, so we decided to deliver. And look, we're back. A little hot swap on the batteries. Beau, you've broken down so much for us tonight. Do you have anything else you want to get to before we shut this baby down? And
well, we got a couple of graphics. Maybe I know we talked about it a little bit the
yeah,
first
let's
time.
do it.
but
Let's hit all. Let's get them with
let's
everything.
talk a little bit about the cup hunters, man.
Okay. Yeah. So the Cup Hunters are a group of individuals from all over the country. So I guess let me back up a little bit. So the Cup Hunters are basically a couple guys from House and Garden who have started this group called the Cup Hunters, right?
And they go around trying to win cannabis cups.
Well, no, they find people who have been using House and Garden to win cups.
Oh.
So there's growers all over the country. I mean, we've got them literally everywhere, from California to Maine to we just have a new one here in Missouri, right?
Yeah.
And so the Cup Hunters is a group of just a collective growers that basically just use House and Garden to win cups, right? And the guys who are behind it just do some really cool stuff. They always have our backs, especially with like the home grow bowl. The Cup Hunters had our back. We first called them and we were like, yo, we want to do this thing. And they were like, yeah, let's do it.
You called the right guys. I
Yeah.
have a certain
That's
set
awesome.
of skills.
So, and they've helped us out with a lot. The same thing with the Immaculate Seed Cultivation Classic. And I can guarantee you that they're going to be helping us out with this new one that we got going on.
Well, I'm gonna win that one.
But yeah, I mean, there's a
Erica
lot of
says,
cool
well,
guys.
she's in.
She's
Nice.
in what?
She's in the new one.
Nice.
She says she's gonna she's gonna become a cup hunter.
Whatever she needs to do
Yeah.
to become second place. to me.
Steve grows hydro.
See, what you got to watch out for is the ladies that are growing.
That's
Guys-
true. Yeah, Erica's not messing around.
Guys,
She's
you
ready to go.
better watch your back. I've seen some of the lady growers that are out here in Missouri, and I've seen some of the work that they've done. We've had 2 ladies that entered to the Immaculate Seed Cultivation Classic, and I thought that was absolutely awesome that they came out and were a part of it.
Oh, hell yeah.
And the one lady, you're going to know exactly who you are. If that was all the way dry, you had a shot. And the other one was
Right there, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the exact number slot, but
The women
Whoa.
of cannabis are a
They're awesome.
dominant
yes,
species of lady, for real.
doubt.
Like, they are powerful
No doubt.
beings, the women in cannabis.
definitely.
Well, you have to
And
be to
speak-
run with big dogs like us.
And for everybody out there, one of the cup hunters that at least I know of off the top of my head, their Instagram handle is Lovin' in Her Eyes.
Hold on. Loving in her eyes.
Yep.
Is this
That's
guy
her
a perv?
Instagram.
No, I
This is
think
a
it's
gal?
a chick, man.
Yeah,
She's got to rethink that one. She's gotta rethink that.
but she is a cup hunter, and if you have never seen her Instagram, please go check it out. She is one of the
Lovin'.
best growers
Yep.
I might have ever seen. Just what she does is just absolutely insane, and she does all house and garden to do it. I'm pretty sure it's Lovin', like IN, and then it's
course
like
it is.
underscore.
Billy
in
Joe Voiles
underscore.
out there watching. Tiffany Jones shouting out all the
Loving
all
in
the,
her
you know,
eyes.
Andrea Jason Miller, one of my favorite humans ever.
Nice.
Steve's looking up some nug. I'll tell you what I can
This
do.
is ridiculous. Can this pick this up? Oh, you can't. You don't have me on that screen.
I can pull it
now.
up.
I'm
Yeah,
on that
I can pull it
screen.
up. Oh man,
Loving in her eyes.
Yep.
like just a smidge.
Definitely. So she does great work.
Wow, dude. Wow.
Yeah, follow that one. That's got some. Dang.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Dude, there's.
So yeah, guys, watch out. The ladies are coming for you.
Good.
I can see it. They're just
It makes sense. The ladies and the ladies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we're trying to take care of these ladies. The ladies, they speak the language. Because I don't know what the hell these broads are saying most of the time. Damn it. Oh, we're saying them.
it's all the same problems for Steve. Whether he
I'm not going to be able to grow.
Steve, they're asking the name of that gal, or both asking the name of that Instagram handle again.
Lovin', like McLovin, Lovin'.
Lovin
Yeah.
in her eyes.
With the underscores in between
Look,
all the words.
I got you.
And eyes with an S, not a Z. It's like, go all the way and put a Z in there. You know what I mean? Go all the way.
So and also like who else? Like we got Alien Labs as a cup hunter. I know a lot of people out there are familiar with them. Exotic Genetics, they are too. So I mean, who else? Robot Farmer, Moose Valley Farms, Tahoe Hydro. So yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff out there, and a lot of people doing some really cool stuff with H&J. That you guys should check
Wow.
out. Not to, again, my personal stance. I just want to say this. I feel like I've been talking about House and Garden a lot.
You have.
They are great friends of mine, and they make a great nutrient. But my personal feeling on this whole thing is that I don't care what you grow. I don't care how you grow it. I just care that you're growing. Right? So, as much as I will talk about House and Garden, it's a plant fertilizer. It grows plants. I have a ton of other bottles in my shop that say grow and bloom, and they grow plants, right? And they will do a similar function. So, I don't want people to think that this is the only way that you can get the best. No. I see people that do bang up work all the time with all types of different stuff. And so, I don't care what you use to grow. I'm just telling you, the question was asked, what do I use? I use House and Garden, right? Yeah. But I don't care what you use to grow. And I think that that's a whole lot of just nonsense in this industry between this, that, and the other thing. I just care that you're growing. Just start growing. It doesn't matter what you use. Just plant a seed, get it into the soil, get it into a hydro bucket. Just start growing.
Start
juiced.
growing. That's a
Start
life
growing.
motto
Not
right
bad.
there, man.
Not bad, man.
Wow.
Not bad at all. Oh,
We hit all the graphics?
I
You
think
got it
I think we touched on pretty well everything.
Craig, you
House
did
and
an
Garden, Cup
excellent job
Hunters.
tonight,
Oh,
buddy.
that's what I do, brother. I just want to take a little stab at. Oh, let's go back here one more time
Oh, yeah.
and just get in
yeah.
on those icons on that in the background. We'll all just want to put it
Hey, if you want to put up
sugar
the Immaculate Seeds, if you guys want to follow Immaculate Seeds too, they will also have more info on the competition as well. Also, it's we're a seed bank that's here in Missouri. So you can come, you can grab some seeds, mail order or pick up at GrowActive. So yeah, if you guys need anything,
the gals, you got the gals all riled up now. Bro.
hell yeah, they should be.
They want an all girls grow off. No guys allowed. So,
That's sexist.
I think we should allow.
all
right, fine. You get this one.
We got a bunch of people. Jan saying great show. Billy Joe says she's all in on a girls grow. Clay said start growing. Zella would love to see a women only can of cup. We're all getting down here.
Wow, this is amazing.
Want to take another opportunity to remind everybody that every Thursday we're just trying to bring you information to make you want to grow.
Yeah,
Beau's got me juiced up, man. He's got me juiced up, but there's people on the other side of the state talking about it every Thursday. Evolution Magazine puts this thing on called the Stay at Home Grow Series.
Everybody's doing a great job.
That's
with
the
them
plan,
so
man.
far.
The information's been tremendous. Shout out to the whole team that is kind of making the whole thing happen. Casey Weed Blog, Nate on Cannabis, Ricky Starling, Missouri Cannabis Network,
Mocana Hub,
Mocana Hub,
Cat King Films.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I got
Yeah,
you,
keep
baby.
rolling, baby.
Solventless extraction. Oh no, that's us. That's Hoosier Sophisticate. That's what we're.
Oh,
That's
I will.
next episode. That's the next one.
That's a tease, baby. Oh, I can't. I just can't wait. The people involved in this, the leaders against marijuana prohibition. I scolded them earlier. They're actually
Lamp. They like to be called Lamp.
Lamp. Sorry, Lamp.
They'll trade page likes with any other page. Pages are welcome and join Lamp.
Missouri Cannabis Network, Missouri Cannabis Collective, medical growers helping medical growers. There's people like Beau. That's what I love about this industry. People like you are so willing to give themselves and give their knowledge and show you, hey, here's what I'm using. Here's how I do it. Just do it. Just don't. I'm not forcing you into anything. I'm not telling you what's right, what's wrong. But here's how it is, and just try growing.
Yeah. Yeah, my other rule is don't listen to me.
I have the same rule. That's good.
Go out there and experiment for yourself. Find this stuff out for
don't know
yourself.
anything.
I am more than happy to answer any and all questions. But don't listen to me. just go out there and do it. Have fun. You know what I mean? And I've killed so many plants. I have killed so many plants. You have no idea. Plants I wish I've still had. And I've just killed them. But that's just what comes with the territory.
Yeah.
You got to know, you're only going to find out that this is wrong when it went wrong. I figured out that I designed that hydroponic system wrong when everything died, right? So that's the only way that you're going to be able to do this stuff, right? So just get out there, make the mistakes, and don't listen to me. Don't listen to other people. Just go out there and do it. So
right on. I want to give we got one last little read here for some people that make this whole thing happen. My KC Green Wellness is Kansas City's most trusted source for medical marijuana certifications. Their clinic offers 5 licensed and practicing physicians that are always looking for healthier alternatives to assist the people of Missouri. My KC Green is committed to the convenience of the patient. Our clinic offers flexibility with scheduling as well as in-person and or telemedicine appointments. My KC Green can be found just south of the Berry Road and I-29 exit along Prairie View Road, easily accessible for all those located north of the river. Spencer H. Granger from My KC Green Wellness, one of the people that helps make this happen with Evolution Magazine.
This is huge, man.
This has been an absolute blast.
And like I said earlier, this is the most exciting time. People are growing, and you're starting to see what people are growing. And
gardens are popping up everywhere.
They're getting better at it. We saw the biggest garden today, buddy.
The biggest. So it seems.
Check out Evolution on Facebook to see those pictures. I mean, Missouri is alive right now. So like Beau says, just go grow, baby.
Yep. The Grow Me State.
I love that.
This
All right,
guy,
guys.
he's
Thank you.
filled with them.
Greg, sign us off here. You're the best in the
Guys, be well. We love you. See you.